And he's like, I used to run 4 minutes.
Yeah, 5.5. Do some stuff and then warm up first.
Mike Tyson once again proved why his name still strikes fear in the boxing world. Reports from his Las Vegas training camp are shocking the entire boxing community. Sources claim that during a sparring session, one of his partners suffered a serious knockout and had to be rushed to the hospital. The most astonishing part, this happened while Tyson was reportedly preparing for a major exhibition bout, with a potential opponent being Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Today, Mike is much better than he was when he fought at Dry. So 4 years later, with 58, today he's better than 54. So he saw everything right, everything wrong he did, and he fixed it. This is the beauty of the fight. The energy is good, and his energy is good. So,
if you could have fought any fighter in your life, any weight, any era, who would you have picked that you would have liked to fight the most?
Floyd Mayweather.
I love it. Why?
Huh?
You want to knock him out?
Well, I would love to fight him. I wish he was my weight.
All right, interesting answer.
According to sources close to the situation, the incident occurred during what was supposed to be a light technical sparring session. Mike's team had brought in a relatively young fighter, in his early 30s, with decent professional experience, to work on specific combinations and defensive scenarios. Inside reports suggest the session began normally, with both fighters wearing headgear and keeping a controlled, relaxed pace during the first rounds. But then the situation suddenly changed. Witnesses report a moment when a sparring partner landed a clean jab directly on Mike's nose. It wasn't a foul or rough move, just a normal part of sparring. However, this apparently triggered something in Mike that nobody expected. Someone in the gym said his entire demeanor changed instantly, as if a switch had flipped, bringing him back to his prime years.
Nice one, Mike. Nice one, Mike. Nice one, Mike. More, Mike.
What happened next was truly shocking. Multiple sources suggest Mike began throwing punches at full intensity. Reports describe a combination so powerful that everyone in the gym froze. The sparring partner tried to clinch and survive, but Mike stepped back, created space, and delivered a left hook to the body followed by an uppercut that literally lifted the fighter off his feet. The sparring partner fell hard. Sources say he was out before hitting the canvas, and the sound of the uppercut echoed through the facility. An insider described it as the most vicious punch they had seen in a training environment in years. The gym went completely silent for a few seconds before everyone rushed to check on the fighter.
Vai better to the body.
You right, coach?
Mike, tá well? Hey, we need 10 seconds. Put 10 seconds there.
Good shit.
Medical staff were on site, standard for serious training camps, but sources say they immediately called an ambulance because the sparring partner wasn't responding normally. Reports indicate he was unconscious for several minutes, and even after regaining consciousness, he was disoriented and couldn't remember what happened. The decision was made to take him to a hospital for proper evaluation and to rule out serious injury. Sources claim that Mike himself was shaken after realizing how hard he had hit the fighter. Witnesses say he stayed quietly in the gym long after the ambulance left, replaying the incident in his mind. One source mentioned that although Mike is aware of his own power, even he was surprised at how much force he could still generate at 58 years old. Sparring partner's condition became a major concern. Early reports suggested he was being evaluated for a potential concussion and needed overnight observation. He was eventually cleared to go home but was strongly advised to take at least a few weeks off from any contact training. One person familiar with the medical assessment said the doctors were honestly shocked that a 58-year-old man could still generate that level of knockout power. This incident sent shockwaves through the boxing community. First, it proves Mike Tyson's legendary power remains intact. Second, it raises serious questions about what could happen if he actually steps in the ring with Floyd Mayweather Jr. And third, it has other sparring partners reconsidering whether they want to work with Iron Mike. Even for good money, professional fighters' reactions have been fascinating. Terence Crawford, reportedly helping Mike prepare for a potential Floyd fight, said in a recent interview that you really have to experience Mike's power to understand it. Watching him hit the heavy bag is one thing, but feeling the force he generates even during light technical work is a completely different experience.
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. Dude is big. He's not as slow as people think he is, and he can punch.
Alan Porter shared his reaction on social media. He said this incident is proof of what he has always maintained. Power is the last thing to leave a fighter. And Mike Tyson's power in his prime was nuclear. Even by heavyweight standards, Porter argued that if Mike can do this to a professional fighter in his 30s during sparring, imagine what could happen if he lands a clean punch on Floyd Mayweather Jr., who spent his career in different weight classes where the nature of power is completely different.
How do you analyze what a fight between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather could look like, right? So then you think about when Floyd got in the ring with Big Show. We already know, like we know now more than we've ever known before that the WWE is fake. It's kind of like acceptable, but it wouldn't be acceptable in a boxing ring. You know, it wouldn't be acceptable if there becomes some sort of weird antics and things like that.
Andre Ward offered a more cautious perspective during his ESPN analysis. He acknowledged that Mike still possesses dangerous power, but questioned whether this incident actually predicts a potential fight with Floyd Mayweather Jr. Ward explained that Floyd's entire defensive system is designed to avoid clean shots. Landing a knockout punch on a sparring partner in the gym is very different from landing that same punch on the most defensively skilled fighter in boxing history.
He's going to have the energy to move the way that he did before. You could get a more entertaining fight. You can get more of a back and forth scrap, which is what a lot of people wanted. And it's not a guarantee that this fight goes the distance given these guys' age and where their punch resistance are, where their current punch resistance is, and you don't know.
Timothy Bradley went in depth on the technical aspects on his show. He explained that the specific combination Mike reportedly used, a body shot followed by an uppercut, is one of the most devastating sequences in boxing if executed correctly. Bradley noted that while Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s shoulder roll defense is brilliant, it could potentially be vulnerable to that exact combination if the timing is perfect. He suggested that if Mike has been practicing this sequence specifically under Terence Crawford's guidance, it could be a legitimate weapon against Mayweather.
Exhibitions, you know, Mayweather's he's still a killer, man, for real. Yeah, he still got it. So why not share the ring with Terence Crawford, man? You know, you still got it. I know you can still go those rounds. Yeah, you still work hard too. You still in shape, champ. Get that money, man. That's what you about. Money Mayweather. Make it happen. Bring it to the reality, right?
Heavyweight fighters have also been watching closely. Deontay Wilder said the news didn't surprise him. He explained that heavyweight power is just built differently, and Mike Tyson was one of the hardest punchers in the division. Even at 58, with slightly reduced speed and reflexes, the fundamental power remains in his muscles and bones. Ilda jokingly said he'd be more surprised if Mike couldn't hurt people anymore. Tyson Fury also weighed in during a press conference, saying Mike hitting this hard at 58 proves genetics are real. Some people are literally born with dynamite in their hands. He joked that he wouldn't spar with Mike even for $1 million because no amount of money is worth taking a legendary punch in a training session. David Haye, who knows heavyweight power firsthand, explained why the incident is significant. Most fighters gradually lose knockout power as hand speed decreases, but Mike's power was never just about speed. It's perfect technique, leverage, and natural strength combined. Haye suggested that even with reduced speed, Mike's technique and leverage are still enough to deliver fight-ending power.
It was either Mike Tyson's knocking you out, one of the two. It was never a fight that I can remember where it was Tyson, oh yeah, Tyson's having a trouble, he's having a problem, and he brings it back round. At the moment he started to lose, or it started to get tough, it seemed to go the other way.
Now, considering the potential matchup with Floyd Mayweather Jr., this incident has changed how analysts view the fight. Previously, most experts favored Floyd due to his superior boxing skills and defensive mastery. Now, the question is whether Mike Tyson's power poses a genuine threat that cannot be ignored. Ali Malignaggi, who knows Floyd's game better than almost anyone, admitted in a podcast that this sparring incident made him slightly less confident in his prediction that he still believes Floyd should comfortably outbox Mike and avoid getting hit. But he acknowledged that if Mike lands one of those heavy punches, the fight could change instantly. Mayweather has never been knocked out, but has also never faced someone with Mike Tyson's power.
And you've still seen, regardless of what you think about his athletic ability and his boxing ability, you still see what happens when he lands a punch on somebody. He's still a strong guy. Mike Tyson is still 58, no matter what you think of him. 58 years old brain. Tyson doesn't have that crazy head movement that he had in his youth. First of all, that's an energy-burning style. At 58 years old, you're not pulling that style off. Tyson didn't even have that style in his mid-30s when he was almost at retirement age. He was already not moving his head like that.
Stephen A. Smith shared a strong opinion on First Take. He said the incident proves that a Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Mike Tyson fight could be genuinely dangerous and might need to be reconsidered. He argued that exhibitions are meant to be relatively safe, controlled events. But if Mike is knocking out prime professional fighters in sparring, imagine what could happen if he lands a clean shot on Floyd. Stephen A. suggested Floyd might want to rethink the whole situation, as the risk could outweigh the reward.
And then you saw the knee brace on, and you just saw the way he was moving. If you watch Mike Tyson, I mean, think about all the Mike Tyson fights we've seen. Think about the movement, the head movement, you know, the foot movement, etc. And then to see that and to know that he's 31 years older than you, literally approaching 60 years of age, I think to see it in front of his face at that moment, it hit him.
Ellerman offered a different perspective on the same show. He said the incident actually makes the fight more compelling and necessary for entertainment. Boxing fans want to see if Floyd's defensive genius can neutralize Mike's power, or if Mike can do what no one else has done, knock out Money Mayweather. Max said uncertainty is exactly what draws people to watch. Betting odds reportedly shifted after the news broke. Offshore sports books adjusted their lines, making Mike slightly less of an underdog. One bookmaker noted more action on Mike because bettors are drawn to his knockout potential. The logic is simple. If Mike can spark a young professional in sparring, he can definitely hurt Floyd if he lands clean. Roy Jones Jr., who has fought Mike in an exhibition, shared his perspective. He said Mike's power was very real, even when pulling punches. Some moments were legitimately scary. Roy believes the sparring incident is completely believable because he has personally felt that power and knows it hasn't gone away. Rafael Garcia, Mike's current trainer, addressed the incident carefully. He emphasized that sparring accidents happen in boxing and, while unfortunate, they are part of the sport. Garcia also noted that Mike's power has been remarkably preserved through training, suggesting that his genetics, consistent strength regimen, and perfect technique keep him dangerous at all times. Exhibition rules have become a hot topic. Some want strict limits on how hard Mike and Floyd can punch, while others argue that restrictions defeat the purpose and fans want a real fight. Sources say both camps are discussing safety measures, but no one wants the fight to look fake or overly controlled. Teddy Atlas gave perhaps the most balanced analysis. He acknowledged Mike still has serious power, but noted that landing it on Floyd is far more difficult than on a sparring partner. Atlas broke down how Floyd would approach the fight. Constant movement, staying out of punching range, making Mike work and miss until fatigued. He concluded that the real question isn't whether Mike can knock Floyd out, but whether he can catch him clean in the first place. For the latest news, moments, events, and action in the boxing world, subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on notifications to catch updates as soon as they drop.